Are we on the air? Welcome to this edition of the Native News Update. I'm your host for today's program, Paul DeMain, on this Tuesday, August 25th. Many of the stories read here today can also be found at our website at indiancountrynews.com. Here are the news stories for the day from the Associated Press and other Native news sources. A self-proclaimed advocate for American Indians faces up to 110 years in prison after pleading guilty to sex crimes involving children. 43-year-old Kevin Paniska of Rapid City, South Dakota, pled guilty to 2 counts of second-degree rape and 1 count of aggravated child abuse. Prosecutors dropped 9 other charges. Authorities say the abuse of 2 girls in their early teens and a young boy started in the year 2002 and continued until Paniska's arrest earlier this year. Paniska is a former publisher of Well Nations magazine. He is to be sentenced on October 27th. News from Indian Country is confirming the passing of Mike Peltier, 43, Oneida, Wisconsin, and from Manitoulin Island, Ontario, and Zeke Diamond, 35, of Oneida, Wisconsin, and the Courte Ojibwe Reservation after talking to relatives in an early morning rollover accident on August 25th on or near the Oneida Reservation at Green Bay, Wisconsin. Both men were killed in a single vehicle rollover. The accident was reported at 5:43 a.m. The morning of August 25th. Pelter was a well-known traditional dancer and veteran. Diamond, a grass dance fancy dancer. Both traveled the powwow circuit far and wide over the years. Funeral arrangements will be announced and are pending. In celebration of their 40th anniversary year, the National Center for American Indian Enterprise Development, NCAIED, will honor 40 existing and emerging American Indian professionals under the age of 40 in the Under 40 Recognition Reception to be held at this year's 2009 Indian Progress in Business event. That's called INPRO in Tulsa, Oklahoma on September 18th. The Native American 40 were nominated and selected based on their demonstrated leadership, initiative, and dedication in propelling Native businesses and communities toward further progress throughout Indian Country. This year's Native American 40 Under 40 winners are Adam Kennedy of the Seneca Nation of Indians, Anne Marie Matchemer of the Coastal Band Shemwash Nation, April Whitmore Locklear Lumbee, Brandon Yellowbird Stevens of the Oneida Nation of Wisconsin, Brian Bussey, a Cherokee, Kara Cohen Watts, a Cherokee, Carmen Davis of Makah Nation, Chippewa, Cree, and Yakima, Shara Quiet, a Muskogee Creek Nation and Cherokee, Chris Province, a Cherokee, Christina S. Theodoro, Lumbee Nation of North Carolina, Clara Pratt, Navajo, Craig Cook from St. Regis Mohawk, Cyrus Ben, the Mississippi Band of Choctaw Indians, Danelle Smith, Winnebago Tribe of Nebraska, Deborah Reed, Cherokee, Donna Bach, that's from the Ortarsamorit, excuse me for mispronouncing that, Native Council, that's Yupik Eskimo and Callista region. And then we have Douglas Pfeiffer, CIRI. Let's see, that might be the Confederated, no, it's just CIRI. Gabriel Galanda, Round Valley Indian Tribe, Gina Timberman, Choctaw, James Anderson, Choctaw and Ojibwe, James Robinson, Mississippi Band of Choctaw Indians, Jason Cochawitiwa, Isleta, Pueblo and Hopi, Jason Giles, Muskogee Creek, Jeremy Marshall of the Cherokee Nation, Jessica Moore, Osage, Ottawa, Oto, Pawnee, Sac and Fox, Carrie Patterson, Seneca, Kimberly Tahi, Cherokee Nation of Oklahoma, Nikishina Polaquaptiwa, a Hopi, and Philip Buzzy, Cherokee, Richard Tallbear, Assistant Wapitan Oyate, Robin Williams, who's Kiowa, Apache, Nez Perce, Umatilla, and Assiniboine, Sayar Nuri, Turtle Mountain Band of Chippewa, Sarah Lucan, native village of that's off Afognak, Stacy Thunder, Red Lake Band of Chippewa Indians, Stuart Pasano, Pueblo of Sandia, Tiffany Ellis, Muskogee Creek, Vernelli Chase, Gross Ventry, Veronica Hicks, a Cherokee, Wayne, Don Supik, and Zachary Keelan of the Caddo Nation. Okay, Carl Galboy Art Exhibit and Lecture Series is coming up, entitled Transformations in the Cutover. It'll be held during September and October 2009 at the Peace United Church of Christ at 1111 North 11th Avenue in Duluth, Minnesota. The series opens with a reception on Wednesday, September 16th at 7 p.m. with refreshments, music, and an artist talk by Galboy about the artwork in the exhibit. Also, the Triumphalism in the Indian Image on September 30th at 7 p.m., lectures with slides by Carl Galboy about issues related to American Indian art, and Misusing the Oral Tradition on October 14th at 7 p.m. Lectures again by Carl Galboy about anthropologists, historians, and curriculum developers and their use of the Indian oral traditions. And finally, Many Acts of Goodness They Had Shown Me, Defending and Defining Indians, 1670 to 1989 on October 28th at 7 p.m. Readers Theater is organized by Carl Galboy and Cindy Donner. Ted Turner has asked Montana Fish, Wildlife, and Parks if he can house a herd of quarantined bison on a portion of his 113,000-acre Flying D Ranch south of Bozeman, Montana. Turner Enterprises, which manages his business interests, land holdings, and investments, submitted the application for the bison August 10th. The deadline for proposals to take the roughly 4 dozen bison now housed at Corwin Springs. The Fort Belknap Reservation, the Brookfield Zoo in Brookfield, Illinois, and a private landowner in Fargo, North Dakota also applied for the bison. And finally, Minneapolis author Louise Erdrich is up for another prestigious literary award for her novel, The Plague of Doves. Erdrich is a finalist for the 2009 Dayton Literary Peace Prize for fiction. It's billed as the only international literary peace prize awarded in the U.S. The Plague of Doves is based on the lynching of 3 American Indians in North Dakota more than a century ago. The book was a finalist for a Pulitzer Prize in fiction last spring and won a Minnesota Book Award. The winners there will be announced on September 22nd. And that is the latest edition of the Native News Update. We want to thank our underwriters for helping us with this broadcast and for you for joining with us again. Miigwech.